Make me leave.
Make sure this is on. You have to leave, sir.
Make me leave. Say that again.
You called me retarded.
Say that again.
You're mental.
Guess how it all kicked off? The incident unfolds with an 11-year-old girl cheekily admitting to texting 911 with a fabricated kidnapping claim. This spectacle occurred in Volusia County, Florida, setting the stage for an avalanche of consequences due to the girl's mischievous actions. The initial prank call sets law enforcement on a high-alert chase.
I'm telling you this right now, you're going to take this as a lesson at 11 years old that if you do something stupid in the future, you're going to enjoy those cuffs.
An 11-year-old girl admits to texting 911 with a fake kidnapping claim in Volusia County, Florida. Sheriff Mike Chitwood is here to discuss the incident with us.
The sheriff's office mobilizes a full-scale operation in response to the fake kidnapping report. Deputies, under the belief that a child was kidnapped at gunpoint, deploy massive resources to tackle the imagined emergency. This intensive response highlights the gravity with which such reports are taken.
The sheriff says the girl texted 911 and claimed her friend had been kidnapped at gunpoint. As you can imagine, the sheriff's office called out the cavalry and launched a massive search, but it all turned out to be fake. They found the girl at her house with her family and took her into custody.
Law enforcement discovers the girl at home with her family, unveiling the kidnapping as a mere hoax. She's swiftly taken into custody. This moment captures the transition from crisis resolution to addressing the repercussions for the young prankster.
Stay calm. You can talk to your parents. We can open the window and let you talk to them. Nothing's going to happen to you. Do you understand that? Okay.
An officer earnestly speaks to the girl, stressing the severity of her actions while trying to frame the incident as a vital learning opportunity. He suggests this could be a watershed moment for her, a chance to grasp the real-world consequences of reckless decisions. This poignant interaction is not just a scolding, but a chance for growth.
I'm telling you this right now, you're going to take this as a lesson at 11 years old that if you do something stupid in the future, you're going to enjoy those cuffs.
I'm not going to do this again.
You know, this is going to be an opportunity for you to turn this into a learning experience. This is not something you're going to carry with you for the rest of your life.
Let's dive deeper into the chaos. The finer details of the prank are laid bare, showing the girl provided specific false information about the supposed kidnapping, including a detailed description of the kidnapper and the vehicle. This elaborate lie intensifies the search efforts. The shocker, the mastermind behind this complex scenario is just an 11-year-old.
And then you start to go out there. She's giving us little tidbits as she's texting us. She gives us a mile marker on I-95. She tells us it's a white van and the person's been tied up. The suspect is a white male with brown hair and blue eyes and is armed with a firearm. And she's following that car. And for the next half hour, she's texting in little tidbits. Eventually, she calls 911 and says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to call you."
Watch the disbelief unfold. As law enforcement figures out the prank, their reaction is a mix of frustration and a desire to turn this blunder into a teachable moment for the girl and her peers. They focus on the serious misuse of emergency services and the broader ramifications such actions have on community safety and resources.
When you all figured out that this was a fake call, a prank, a swatting call, a spoof, whatever you want to call it, your reaction, your thoughts, your feelings.
I think if you watch that video and you listen to my lieutenant is talking, you could see the frustration in his voice, but also as a father, he's trying to use this as a teaching moment for her, and hopefully she'll tell all her little friends about. But when you look at the resources that were out there,
we delve into the broader implications of internet misuse, spotlighting the perils of online platforms and their magnetic pull on young minds. This segment aims to enlighten the audience about parental duties in overseeing their children's internet use and the potential legal headaches that pranksters can cause.
The internet is. So what we're doing is we are partnering with the Department of Children and Families, and as school gets back, we're going to start to do symposiums at night, and we want parents to come invest an hour and a half of your time, learn about the dangers of the internet, learn about how to protect your child, and learn what the consequences are going to be if they do these spoofing or SWAT calls, especially with school starting again. You could rest assured we will get dozens upon dozens of active shooter calls coming in that are going to be bogus.
Ever wonder what happens to a prankster in the legal system? We ponder the future of the mischievous 11-year-old, discussing the juvenile justice system's approach and possible outcomes for her case. This segment underscores the delicate balance between discipline and rehabilitation, highlighting efforts to reform rather than simply punish.
Yeah, it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf type of thing, you know, and you can't afford to play that game, and neither can the public. So what is going to happen to this 11-year-old girl? We know that you guys took her into custody and put her in juvenile detention. So what happens next?
Yeah, what'll happen is, I always say the juvenile justice system is like a sausage maker. What goes in the beginning isn't what comes out on the other end. Once the psychologist gets involved, once the attorneys get involved, once the judge gets involved, they'll do a pretty good job of figuring what kind of sanctions will come out of this at the end of the day.
Let's talk dollars and cents. We address the hefty financial cost of the law enforcement response, with considerations for making the girl's family foot the bill. This part emphasizes the tangible impacts of such pranks on public resources, outlining the real-world cost of responding to fabricated emergencies. Now,
At the end of the day, my theory is always it's tough love. You hit it hard up front, and then you let the system do what it needs to do. She's not going to jail for this. We are, though, working up the cost of what this response was. And once I get that, we'll present that to the state attorney and ask that part of any sentencing is the parents reimburse us for all the amount of time and effort that went into it. I mean, the air unit was probably close to $1,000 just in fuel. That was just the air unit. And then you break down all the different agencies.
I know it's going to be a big price tag. I know it's going to be hefty.
the incident kicks off on a chilly October 22nd when deputies roll up to the Milwaukee County Zoo, alerted by reports of trouble brewing. Initially, the scene's as calm as a cucumber. No punches thrown or harsh words slung, but zoo security is quick to finger 4 people they reckon are stirring the pot.
Body cam video shows the moments leading up to a sheriff's deputy punching a 17-year-old girl during an arrest, after the video captures the teen striking the officer first. The incident happened on October 22nd after deputies were dispatched to the Milwaukee County Zoo for reports of a fight.
What's up, man? That we're fighting, they're just sitting by the gate and we can't get out. Where are they? They're by the front gate over there. Yeah, the walk-in gate. We can't really get out because they're just sitting on the gate and they're arguing with each other.
Upon arriving, the deputy finds the suspected quartet chilling by the pedestrian gate, seemingly just hanging out and waiting for their ride. They're anxious but polite, explaining they're just there to pick someone up, with no intention to cause a scene.
All right, for those squads, I was just talked to by an employee. The fighting individuals are still here. They're at the walk-in entrance.
The deputy then drives toward where the 4 individuals are located, spotting them near the pedestrian gate of the zoo.
What's that?
There are 4 individuals.
So someone is picking you guys up?
Yes,
Where's your ride?
My ride. She's on the phone. You want to talk to her?
I don't need to talk to them. Where's your ride at?
Right,
What? Okay. I just got here. Why are you yelling at me? I'm trying to help you out. Why are you yelling at me?
I'm sorry. She right in the front of the building. She said that's where she dropped us off. She said she's right where she dropped us
What
off.
car? What car?
It's a gray car.
A gray car?
Oh, it's white.
The atmosphere starts to crackle when Envy Hampton, a 17-year-old with a temper as fiery as her name, starts getting snippy with the cop over hopping the fence. Her defiance lights a fuse, sparking a verbal clash that promises to erupt into something more heated.
Okay, so I got another squad. They're gonna try to find that sedan and bring it over.
She said she right in front of the building.
If I hop this fence, I'm gonna be wrong.
If you hop this fence, I'm gonna arrest you.
You ain't gonna do to me. Legit, you ain't gonna do to me. If I hop this fence, then what? You hear my sister on the phone waiting on me.
She said she right in front of the building. We just need to walk over there and get over there to her.
Okay, how about this? Instead of you guys going all the way over there, because it's a long walk and it's like 40 degrees out.
Nia Dell Willis makes her grand entrance, aiming to scoop up the group, including her sister Envy. She's not exactly thrilled to see the cops and makes no bones about her rush to get out of Dodge, tossing out words faster than a popcorn popper.
Okay, I'm gonna get you out of here in a few minutes. All I need is your name, and that's really about it, okay? Ma'am, we're not doing this.
Don't. No,
Hold on.
you don't need to follow me.
Hold on. Just hold on.
I am
holding
on.
I've
Been sitting here for 10 minutes, sitting here looking for them. I don't need nothing. I'm just gonna come out and go around. It don't matter.
Okay, Tiffany.
Yep.
Hold on.
Okay, you can let me in my car. My kids is in here. Come on, man, for real.
In an attempt to simmer down the sizzle, one of the women steps up to explain to the deputy that their dust-up was nothing more than a family squabble, all bark and no bite. They had already been asked to leave and were just waiting for their ride, minding their own beeswax.
Can I just talk to you over there?
What's the deal?
Okay, let's go over there.
The deputy then speaks to one of the women who seemingly is cooperating with the investigation. She tells the officer about the events that happened prior.
So we just argued, we didn't fight, we didn't know, we argued, okay, they told us to leave, we left, we went out here, we sat out here. What we had to do outside of here don't have nothing to do in here, because we was not on the premises no more. We sat out there, we waited for our ride. Our ride here, we just ready to go and get it over with, we're not trying to make it no.
Chaos ensues as Envy decides she's had enough of waiting and lunges at the deputy, which turns the heat up to full blast. The deputy reacts, and what unfolds is a tussle that spirals out of control quicker than you can say zoo. Both sisters end up in handcuffs, and charges are on the table. Stay tuned. The aftermath and wrap-up are coming up next, and you won't want to miss how this all ends.
The women then urge the deputy to let them all leave. But then when more authorities arrive on scene, the tension escalates.
You don't gotta come over here. Why is y'all bringing all these police?
They argued, but nobody got to fight, or like it never got deeper than.
The video then cuts to another deputy's body cam as he responds to the scene. After deputies pull Envy's sister Naya out of the car, that's when the 17-year-old exits the rear driver's side seat and begins swinging at the deputy. After the struggle, both the teen and her sister Naya were taken into custody after the incident.
The son spills the beans about November 21st when his mother was eliminated. He gives us a play-by-play in the courtroom, describing his horror as he saw his mom get run over, her body skidding across the concrete like some tragic bowling game gone wrong. He points out how the defendant hasn't shed a tear or even tried to explain his craziness.
On November 21st, you killed my mother. And in this courtroom, I watched you run her down and her broken body slide across the concrete. This woman loved and she was loved. You ran her down like she was nothing. And since that day, you have shown no remorse. You'd offered no explanation for your atrocities. It offends me that you're sitting here breathing while she is not. You are a monster. You deserve contempt and death.
The son is throwing shade like it's sunny in the Sahara, calling the defendant a monster who deserves more than what the state's lack of a death penalty can offer. He fantasizes about a mythical dungeon where only rats would keep the guy company, chewing on his conscience, if he had one, that is.
You are a monster. You deserve contempt and death. Sadly, with no death penalty in this state, I can only hope they lock you away someplace so deep the rats chew on your fingers at night. As for me, this will never be over until the day I'm pissing on your grave. I think it would be fair to say that for your crimes, even God hates you.
If you could just tell me, go ahead.
Yeah, for the record, Your Honor, that was the son of victim.
The son turns the heat up, blasting the defendant for his Oscar-worthy performance of total indifference. Rolling his eyes and chuckling during testimony, classy man. He says this guy's the poster child for evil, live and unedited.
And Mr. Brooks, I hope as I read my statement, you continue to roll your eyes. I hope you continue to laugh and just show how bored and unmoved you are by all of this. Because I think that's important. It's important for the world to see that evil can be a tangible, living, breathing thing. I think it's important for the world to see what human rot looks like. And to all the survivors, every time he puts his hand on that empty cavity where his heart should be, I hope you all smile, and I hope you take solace in the fact that today is our day. Today is for us. Today is so we can take our handful of dirt, throw it on his grave, and move on. Because that's what we all need, and that's what we deserve.
He's all about his mom, painting a picture of a lady who was practically a superhero without the cape. She managed apartments, danced in parades, and was everybody's cheerleader. He talks about how she was snatched away by a real-life villain, making you almost want to check your locks.
My name is Chris Owen, and I am the plaintiff. I'm here on behalf of another plaintiff, my mother, Leanna Joy Owen. Lee Owen was a mother, a grandmother, a best friend, an apartment manager, and a dancing granny. The reason none of the witnesses saw her in this courtroom is because she was executed by a child-killing sex offender, and we are both injured parties. My whole family is an injured party. To my kids, Lee Owen was Nanny, and Nanny spoiled her grandkids every chance she got. On every birthday, she would call and sing happy birthday to their voicemail so they could hear it the first thing in the morning.
Amidst his tribute, he calls out the defendant's bluff, showing how the guy's as remorseful as a rock. He digs into the good, the bad, and the ugly truths about his mom's life and struggles, contrasting it sharply with the defendant's chilling nonchalance.
That was the one place she had to visit before she died. And now the best we can do is lay her ashes there. But Daryl Brooks' conscience is clear. And I believe him. Out of everything he said in this courtroom, I believe that is the one truth he told. I mean, how else could he make a witness look at each of his battered friends that he ran over and ask, how do you know who this is? Throughout her life, Lee Owen was a hard-working woman. That's why when she found herself on hard times, she was able to overcome them. Even though it took years, she dug herself out of a deep financial hole so she could live the life she wanted, the life she deserved. She always had to be moving or doing something, and this often involved people. She was very social and loved being around those she cared about. And people loved her back.
He's not just talking, he's pouring his heart out about the nightmares that haunt his dad and the what could have beens that torment him. It's raw, it's real, and it's more gripping than your last thriller.
I lost my mom, Lee Owen, and I wasn't always a good son. I could be selfish sometimes. I could be mean. But no matter how angry or standoffish I got, she would bend over backwards for me, even when I didn't deserve it. And now I can never tell her I'm sorry. I can never tell her I should have been more grateful. I can never tell her how much I need her in my life. Yeah, shake your head. Shake your head. You know, because that is what you took from me. And there's nothing this court can do that would provide justice in my eyes. So all I ask is that you rot, and you rot slow.
The body camera captures a shocking altercation between an Ohio police officer and Keyshawn Sims, who was allegedly suffering from a mental health crisis. Sims insists he isn't mental despite the officer's suggestion. The footage highlights the tense atmosphere in the lobby where the incident took place.
You have to leave.
Why?
Leave.
Make me leave.
Leave.
Make me leave.
Make you leave?
Yeah, make me leave.
Make sure this is on. You have to leave, sir.
Make me leave. Say that again.
You called me retarded.
Say that again.
You're mental.
Body camera footage captures the shocking altercation between an Ohio police officer and a man who authorities say was suffering from a mental health crisis.
Think I'm playing, bro? Huh? Ain't nobody fucking mental. You can call somebody so I can fucking talk to someone.
On September 14th in Youngstown, Ohio, Keyshawn Sims entered the police station demanding to speak directly to the police chief. The officer informed Sims that appointments were necessary to meet with the chief. Sims persistently challenged this protocol, creating a confrontational scene.
The incident happened on September 14th in Youngstown, Ohio. According to the police department, the man who you see here in the red shirt, who was later identified as Keyshawn Sims, approached the lobby of the department's auxiliary office, demanding to speak to the police chief.
Okay, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about.
Talk to like your chief or something.
The chief only talks to people if they make an appointment. You have to make an appointment with the chief to see him.
You're gonna have to call him or something.
Okay.
You can call him. My phone's broke.
The officer attempts to de-escalate the situation by offering to call someone for Sims, but finds out that the person is unavailable. Sims is then repeatedly asked to leave, as the officer explains that all official interactions require a prior appointment. The refusal from Sims leads to increased tension.
The officer then tells Sims he will call someone for him. However, the officer says that unnamed person is unavailable.
She's not in her office.
And that's when the discussion takes a turn, as the officer tells Sims he is unable to help him and asks Sims to leave.
Yeah, but everybody you need to talk to, that you want to talk to, you have to make an appointment to see them. Well, that's the way it's going to be. You can say no all you want.
The verbal altercation escalates when the officer again calls Sims mental, prompting Sims to ask him to repeat the statement. Sims then physically confronts the officer as he continues to refuse to leave the premises. The situation rapidly deteriorates into a physical struggle.
You have to leave now, sir.
Or what?
You have to leave now, sir.
Call someone right there.
I'm not calling anyone.
Yeah,
you have to leave.
Why?
Leave.
Make me leave.
Leave.
Make me leave.
Make you leave?
Yeah.
And then the confrontation turns physical.
Make me leave.
Make sure this is on. You have to leave, sir.
Make me leave. Say that again.
You called me retarded.
Say that again.
You're mental.
Mental, bro. Out. Think I'm playing, bro? Huh? Ain't nobody fucking mental. Can call somebody so I can fucking talk to someone.
The confrontation becomes more violent, with Sims tackling the officer. The officer, in response, pulls out his service weapon as the altercation continues. Additional officers arrive and help in restraining Sims, eventually tackling him to the ground.
The officer tells Sims to get off of him, but shortly after, another physical confrontation happens again between the two.
Say that again. Say that again. We can do this all day.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Seconds later, the officer then pulls out what appears to be his service weapon and points it towards Sims, and both get into yet another physical altercation. Additional officers are able to come to the officer's aid, where they tackle Sims to the ground.
Not today.
Surveillance video captures Sims striking the officer repeatedly before the officer tries to reach for his weapon. Sims puts the officer in a headlock but is finally subdued by another officer. Sims is then handcuffed and arrested, facing multiple charges including assault on a peace officer and aggravated robbery.
Surveillance video shared by the Youngstown Police Department also captured the physical confrontation between Sims and the officer, as Sims can be seen striking the officer repeatedly. Sims can then be seen tackling the officer, and when the officer reached for his service weapon, Sims put the officer in what appears to be a headlock before being tackled by another officer to break up the altercation. The officer's body cam then captures Sims being placed in handcuffs, but not without a final word from Sims to the officer.
Let me see you again.
Hope so.
That's what it is.
Sims was eventually taken away in a squad car and charged with assault on a peace officer, menacing, obstructing official business, aggravated robbery, and intimidation.
Just another day for Oklahoma officers, or so it seemed, until a routine traffic stop turns into a colossal drug bust. Out of a plain old Penske moving van come hundreds of marijuana plants. It's like a botanical garden on wheels. Captured entirely on body cams, this is one traffic stop that turns into a prime-time event.
What started out as a routine traffic stop turns into a major drug bust when Oklahoma officers discover hundreds of marijuana plants in the back of a moving van.
Enter Officer Billy Messner, who pulls over this seemingly innocent truck after spotting it wobble and crawl below the speed limit. The driver plays innocent, but Messner isn't buying what he's selling. He's seen this dance before. It's a roadside drama unfolding with each verbal volley.
Body cameras captured it all on video when Seminole police officer Billy Messner pulled over a Penske moving truck for making multiple traffic violations.
How you doing? The reason I pulled you over, one, you're running about 25, 30 miles under the speed limit, and then you crossed this white line twice. No, I didn't. Yes, you did, sir. I was right behind you the whole time.
Officer Messner decides it's time to let the police dog do some sniffing, because why not? The driver, a 46-year-old chap named Bun Wong, seems edgy when asked about the goodies in the truck. It's a classic standoff with tension thick enough to cut with a knife.
But it wasn't the driver's speed that proved to be cause for concern.
All right, sir, while I'm waiting on the return, I'm going to take my dog, I'm going to run it around the vehicle. If you can, just shut the vehicle off and keep your windows rolled up. And before we run, is there any illegal narcotics, marijuana, meth, heroin, or cocaine?
After some hemming and hawing, Wong admits there's a little something illegal in the back, but oops, no transportation license. Officer Messner's not amused and lays down the law, turning what started as a traffic stop into a full-blown legal lecture. The conversation is a dance of legality and logistics that could make your head spin.
The driver, 46-year-old Bun Wong, then hands Officer Messner paperwork, ultimately telling him there's weed in the back of the vehicle.
So is it full-size plants? They're just plants, though. You got a transportation license, too? I don't have it with me. Man, that's illegal.
Officer Messner tells Wong the transport is illegal without a transportation license.
You gotta have the transportation. Everything is legal. Not if you don't have a transportation license.
With a flourish worthy of a magician, Wong opens the van to reveal not just a few, but 222 marijuana plants. It's a forest in a truck. Officer Messner's goodness gracious pretty much sums up the surprise, while Wong's story about where he's coming from starts to crumble like cheap drywall.
It's then that Wong voluntarily opens the back of the moving van, revealing 222 marijuana plants.
You mind if I open the back up, or do you want to open the back? Okay. You want me to open it? You can if you want, yes sir. So is it... Okay. Plants all the way to the top. Goodness gracious, how many is supposed to be there? 150.
As Messner smells something fishy, and it's not the marijuana, he calls in the reinforcements. Backup arrives quicker than a pizza delivery, diving into this botanical mystery to peel back the layers of Wong's fishy tale. The gathered law enforcement team is like a council of wise owls, pondering the oddities of Wong's road trip saga.
Way over there.
Officer Messner quickly radios for backup, saying Wong's story isn't straight.
I got roughly 150 plants, but everything he's saying is not adding up to what his manifest is saying.
When other officers arrive, Officer Messner explains the situation.
He doesn't have a transportation license, but then he come back, then he hollered at me and he said, my lawyer helped me do this, and he showed me something on his phone. I said, just go back up there and sit down and we'll be with you in a minute.
His lawyer?
Yeah.
Finding inconsistencies, Messner decides Wong's journey in the free world ends here. It turns out you actually need to carry your transport license. Shocking, right? This moment is all about crossing the T's and dotting the I's, as the law comes down hard on unlicensed botanical transport.
Next, Officer Messner tells Wong he's being detained and explains why.
Well, you can have them send that to you, but right now you're going to be detained for not having a transport license, because you don't have a transport license.
My boss has it.
You have to have the transport license. Whoever's transporting has to be in this truck that's a license. You don't have a locked door. 2, you don't have a transport license. You don't have the grower's license or anything like that with you. So he's going to transport you back to the PD for me.
The deputy confronts the father and son about the son driving without a license. The son tries to justify his actions by mentioning that he was driving on behalf of his father, but the deputy isn't having any of it, questioning the legality of the decision and emphasizing that personal circumstances do not supersede state laws. The son then presents some court papers as identification.
So you don't have a driver's license?
No.
And you're driving?
I was driving for my dad.
I don't. Does your dad have the ability to supersede Arizona state law? The answer is no. Okay. I live on the mountain of right. Do you have any ID on you?
Here's some of my court papers from a while ago.
Court paper? What'd you have to go to court for?
For driving a while ago.
For driving? So you've been stopped for driving without a license before, and now you just keep doing it.
The situation escalates when the deputy decides to issue citations to both the son for driving without a license and the father for allowing him to drive knowing his license status. The son's history of suspensions is detailed, listing multiple instances where he was penalized for reckless driving and other offenses, showcasing a pattern of irresponsible behavior.
So I'm going to write him for not having a license. I'm going to tow his car because he can't have it. I'm going to write Dad a citation for telling him to drive that when he knew he didn't have a driver's license. So everyone's going to get cites today. He has 1 suspension, 2 suspensions, 3 suspensions, 4 suspensions, 5 suspensions. So he's been suspended 5 separate times.
The deputy explains that due to the son's repeated violations and never having a valid driver's license, Arizona law mandates the towing and impounding of the vehicle for 20 days. He instructs them to remove any valuables from the car, highlighting the severity of the son's continuous disregard for driving regulations.
It's not because he's suspended. It's because his privilege to drive is suspended because he's never ever had a driver's license. Arizona law says that I shall tow and impound that vehicle for 20 days. Anything that's of value in this car, take it out because I'm going to be towing and impounding it. He shouldn't be allowed to operate a remote control car, knowing he literally can't make a good decision. And now you're like, hey, human that can't make good decisions, drive my car. You have so many bad decisions in driving cars, driving on suspended, criminal speed, and all of that stuff that you should never be driving a car.
The discussion continues with the deputy stressing the importance of holding people accountable for their decisions in Pinal County. He references a previous case where he proved a suspect was driving under the influence by testing his blood, demonstrating his commitment to enforcing the law and ensuring safety on the roads.
Any reason why anyone got any one of the citations?
You gave my buddy DUI, I think.
Is it possible I gave?
He said you pulled him over in this.
Yep. Because holding people accountable for their poor decisions in Pinal County is one of the things that I do. And was high and he was driving. Wait,
Last name?
Yeah, and he wasn't high. It was yeah.
No, he was high because I drew his blood and tested it, and then he took me to court, and I beat him in court.
The deputy interacts with another driver with illegal window tinting, recognizing him from previous encounters. The driver mentions watching the deputy's advice on a show, yet still fails to comply with window tinting laws. The deputy provides guidance on how to rectify the issue legally, emphasizing the importance of adhering to vehicle regulations.
You are a really slow learner. You're like, yeah, I got this illegal window tint. Nah, I'm gonna drive around Santana and just see if he stops me. Of course I'm gonna stop you. Look at it. It's like limo. It's so, I don't know how you just see out of this thing at night. This thing's as dark as looking at the inside of your eyelids.
You know what, and I agree with you on that. I definitely do, because sometimes I roll my window down just so I can see what I'm doing. I very rarely drive at night. I know I've seen this on your show too before, but I'm trying to get my insurance card that says I needed to update that.
The deputy pulls over a driver for following too closely to another vehicle. This encounter highlights common traffic violations and the deputy's approach to educating drivers about safe driving practices. The driver's misunderstanding of traffic laws, despite years of driving experience, underscores the ongoing need for public awareness and adherence to driving regulations.
Why were you pulling me over?
You were less than 1 car length from the bumper of that SUV that was in front of you.
There was not an SUV in front of me, sir. It was a minivan.
Okay. Vehicle that's bigger than your car, and you were less than your car length away from the back of it.
When we were going over the railroad tracks, getting into the turn
The
lane?
entire, yep, all the way up.
If you say so, go ahead.
Yep.
Fine. And so what would the ticket be if you're going to give me a ticket?
I haven't decided if I'm going to give you a ticket yet.
Well, when I took my test and my son took his driver's license test 2 years ago, I read in the MVD manual that it was 1 car length. Oh, and that's how it's always been. Working in the car business, I mean, I know the rules of the road.
Sure, appreciate the roadside education I've obtained today.
You're welcome.
I don't even understand the conversation I just had.
My man, come here, police department, come here. Show me your hands.
All right, signal 0 right out the gate. And there's a baggie underneath there.
Got it. And there's marijuana residue.
At Travis County Jail's booking facility, an officer with a solid 17 years under his belt walks us through the chaos of the night shift. From DUI suspects to aggressive criminals, the officers juggle a diverse cast of characters, ensuring everyone is securely managed.
I work at the Travis County Jail. I work the 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift. We can have anybody from a quiet PI to a very aggressive murder suspect.
In a heated exchange, a female detainee confronts the officers, probing whether they get a kick out of causing her pain. She accuses them of excessive force on her wrist during restraint, hunting they might be enjoying this a bit too much.
Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? You're not even supposed to listen to me. Okay, do you feel like... I don't feel like hurting or killing myself at all. Why don't you go ahead and bend my wrist a little bit more?
The woman insists she's innocent, claiming she was merely drinking and not causing any trouble. The officers, however, aren't having it and tell her she'll stay restrained until she can chill out.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Now, listen to me.
I am.
Listen.
I am.
And we'll take this mask off.
Great.
But you're going to be in this chair.
Great. Fantastic.
Calm down.
You tried to kick the officer, that's why.
It was reported you tried to kick an officer.
Visibly distressed, the detainee claims she's not resisting and desperately asks for some air. She repeatedly tells the officers she's not their enemy, hoping for a bit of sympathy and a release from the restraint chair. The officers promise ease if she calms down, but keep your eyes peeled. The next part is a real shocker.
What would you do if somebody's trying to put you down, Officer Harper?
Were they wearing a uniform? I'm going down real soft.
Oh, God help me! God help me! Get some air? I'm not your enemy, officer. Thank you. I'm not your enemy. I appreciate that.
Okay.
I really do.
During her booking, the woman discusses the implications of her public intoxication charge. She's visibly upset, gesturing to her wrist, blaming the officers for her injury. The conversation that ensues is not only serious, but has some unexpectedly humorous twists.
Cheese. Why are you doing this again?
understand, officer.
You're in here for public intoxication.
Yeah, and you see my
Well,
wrist? This is the fine for public intoxication.
You did that to yourself in there. You need to use telephone for anything.
I'll go ahead and call my husband and let him deal with it.
She opens up about her life, mentioning her business trip and her responsibilities back home, including her grandson. As she struggles with the facility's phone system, her frustration is palpable, but also kind of relatable.
Why are you calling Jacksonville, Florida?
Because that's where home is,
Okay.
dude. At Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
I'm here on business.
You're going to have to make a long-distance phone call. You're going to have to use these phones up here.
Now I dial one.
Just listen to what it tells you to do.
Here comes a hopeful note. As we near the video's end, an officer speculates on the woman's upcoming court appearance, hoping for a favorable outcome so she can head home. This peek into the daily grind of law enforcement is routine yet filled with unpredictable twists.
Apparently so. I'm raising my grandson, and therefore, apparently my phone is not allowing me to call through.
Come on in here and sit down. When you start calming down, they'll let you out, okay?
She'll be going to court this morning about 8 o'clock, and she'll be on her way home.
In Flagler County, Florida, officers roll up on a woman they suspect of shoplifting. She's about to find out her little retail adventure is turning into a blockbuster day of charges.
It's after 5 p.m. in Flagler County, Florida, where one suspected shoplifter is about to find herself with some serious charges.
What's up?
Okay, is this your car over here?
No.
All right, would you come over here with me?
Where?
Over in this lane.
For what?
So we're doing an investigation right now. Apparently somebody walked out with a
Car, put it in a random car?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
The woman, now known as Amber, owns up to tossing the stolen loot into some random car as part of a so-called game. This casual confession cracks open a can of legal worms, showcasing her blatant disregard for the law.
Okay, would you come over by the car with us?
Whose car is it?
What do you mean?
Whose car is it?
I don't know.
Me neither.
Okay, so where's all your stuff you took out of the store and
I just
put it in the
I
car?
put it in a random car that was open.
In a random car that was open?
Yeah.
For what?
What do you mean for what? Because y'all was coming.
Okay, so you just put all the stuff in a random car you didn't know?
Yeah, it's a game I was playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What for?
Just for the hell of it.
Okay. You got any ID on you?
No,
All right,
I left it in the car.
The police identify our protagonist as 30-year-old Amber McCann. She elaborates on her game of stashing merchandise in random vehicles. Her lighthearted take on what's clearly a criminal spree paints a picture of her unconventional antics.
Police identify the woman seen here as 30-year-old Amber McCann, who told deputies that, get this, she was playing a game by stashing stolen merchandise in a random car.
I think it's a Michael Kors. Can you please not stand behind me? Because you're making me nervous.
I was here the whole time.
Where you were?
Yeah, he's in the car.
Well, I'll be damned. What was your question?
What kind of purse did you have?
It's a Michael Kors purse. Can you go get it for me?
Okay. What kind of vehicle were you driving?
It's like gray or silver or something.
What kind of make, model?
I don't know.
Officers inspect the car Amber picked at random and find it's a treasure trove with over $1,000 in stolen goods, ranging from beauty products to pet food. Amber's shopping spree was more like a full-blown heist.
Police find more than $1,000 worth of stolen property, including beauty items, home goods, dog food, and more. Deputies work together to quickly return the lifted merchandise to the store. Moments later, deputies pop open the trunk of the car when, let's just say, that shoplifting charge.
As the plot thickens, deputies uncover not just a pile of pilfered products, but also drugs and paraphernalia in the trunk of the car.
Oh, we got white crystals. We got white crystals, Gobo pipe, and a safe.
Let me see.
2. That's white. This has white crystal in it. Like small amount, but there's white crystal in it.
Deputies wrestle with a hefty safe found in the vehicle, buzzing with possibilities of what secrets it might hold. This mysterious safe is now the center of everyone's attention.
Very inappropriate of me.
Inside the trunk, deputies uncover multiple prescription medications listed in Amber's name, as well as other prescriptions listed in a man's name, and suspected methamphetamine. But that's all before deputies try cracking into that large safe.
Suboxone.
Suboxone.
Nothing in there that's like legit.
No.
I just want to know what's in that, but like without pulling the safe out. Like, I don't know if
We can pull the safe out.
With the safe still sealed, officers throw Amber a lifeline, asking for the combo in a bid for her cooperation. Her refusal only thickens the mystery, leaving everyone guessing what's inside.
Miss Amber, do you know the combination of that safe back there?
What safe?
The safe that's in the trunk?
No.
So you don't know what's in it or whose it is?
No.
He doesn't even have a safe.
Well, there's a safe in the trunk, so.
It can't be his. What's all that stuff on the top of the thing?
What?
What's all that stuff?
Stuff that was in the trunk.
Just when you think we've seen it all, boom, the safe cracks open to reveal a firearm, adding a serious charge to Amber's already lengthy rap sheet and hinting at even darker undertakings.
Deputies break into the safe with the use of breaching tools. Let's see what's inside.
All right, signal 0 right out the gate.
Matthew Campbell now.
And there's a baggie underneath there.
Got it. And there's marijuana residue.
Deputies immediately find a firearm concealed in the safe, but that's not all.
What is this?
Is that a light safe? That's a lighter. I'm rolling.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right, fun box.
As the search concludes, officers hit the jackpot, loads of meth, weed, and an arsenal of contraband that would make any crime lord blush. This haul underscores the full scale of Amber's sideline activities.
Deputies cracked open that last lockbox and finished their search, uncovering about 62 grams of methamphetamine, 11 grams of marijuana, multiple pipes, a scale, mint silver bars and rounds, copper bars, platinum bars, a gold Fossil watch, and multiple prescription medications, according to the arrest report.
Amber is now cuffed and stuffed into the back of a patrol car, facing a parade of charges from drug trafficking to grand theft.
Where she's, let's just say, not too pleased with the result of her game.
We came to shop, but they told me to play a game. T told me to play a game.
Who's that?
My demon. So he told me to play a game called 21, and I played it, and then I got caught. I have psychological problems. Like, I have mental issues. Like bipolar, anxiety, depression, all that shit, and schizophrenia. Yeah. So do you have a attitude with me, or are you good? Because you asked me questions, but it looks like you got a attitude.
Am I yelling at you?
But you got a fucking attitude with your little prissy blink blink.
I'm not yelling at you.
Okay, but you got an attitude.
The incident began as a retail theft at a Kohl's in Wisconsin, where a high-speed chase ensued after a foot chase along a highway. The driver, having lost control, kicked the situation into high gear.
What started as a retail theft at a Wisconsin department store quickly turned into a foot chase along the highway after a getaway driver lost control of his vehicle while leading police on a high-speed chase.
29-year-old Lil Cherry Gallion made off with $1,300 worth of goodies from Kohl's, sparking an immediate police chase. The security cam caught Gallion legging it out of the store, triggering a truly wild sequence of events.
It all started on August 8th in Glendale, Wisconsin, just north of Milwaukee. That's where 29-year-old Lil Cherry Gallion allegedly stole $1,300 worth of merchandise from Kohl's. Security camera video shows Gallion run out of the store and make a break for a nearby vehicle. But as Gallion runs to the passenger side, a squad car pulls up.
Gallion was spotted making a beeline for a getaway car, desperately trying to flee as the cops rolled up. Dashcam footage caught the moment Gallion reached the passenger side, right before trying to make a quick escape.
Dash camera video shows another angle of Gallion running out of the store before that squad car approaches.
Things really start to heat up here. In a bold move to trap the suspects, a cop car zoomed in front of their vehicle. Within mere seconds, the vehicle, piloted by 27-year-old Robert Hill, plowed into the squad car, causing a spectacular crash.
Video shows the cop car drive in front of the suspect's vehicle in an attempt to block it off. But within seconds, the vehicle, driven by 27-year-old suspect Robert Hill, crashes into the squad.
Still parked in the Kohl's lot, Hill managed to crash the vehicle 4 times into multiple police cruisers. Captured on video, this brazen act showed just how intense the scenario was.
While still in the Kohl's parking lot, Hill crashes the vehicle 4 times into multiple squad cars.
Just hit both squads.
Hands! Hands!
Hit my squad.
Hands!
After the initial tussle, Hill took the cops on a merry chase through the Bay Shore Mall parking lot. The pursuit didn't slow down as Hill once again rammed into a squad car, showcasing his reckless determination.
They didn't know another spot. Stop now! Stop now!
Hill then leads police on a low-speed chase through the Bayshore Mall parking lot before once again colliding with a squad car.
768 on the drive. ASU 5215 going through the white wife beater. He's got a flat tire going to hop the grip to get up here.
Every twist and turn brings another shock. Hill then zipped into a nearby bank parking lot, crashing yet again. Officers were right on his tail, capturing every move from multiple angles as Hill kept up his flight.
Next, Hill hops the curb as officers follow. Officials follow Hill into a nearby bank parking lot where he crashes once again. Dash camera video captures these same moments from multiple perspectives as Hill jumps the curb and the chase continues.
The suspense builds by the minute. The chase intensified as Hill, navigating haphazardly, fled the mall parking lot by hopping another curb. He then took to driving in the wrong lane, upping the ante on danger for everyone involved.
He did strike multiple squads with
50 airbag deployment by Zooties. 1050 airbag deployment.
After that, Hill exits the mall parking lot by hopping yet another curb. The chase continues as he begins driving in the wrong lane of traffic.
Gotta spin around, but it's still southbound in the northbound lanes. Stop this at Fort Silver.
Just when you think it can't get any more intense, it absolutely does. Trying to take a sharp turn, Hill lost control and smashed his vehicle into a construction site. This marked a crucial turning point in the chase, with his vehicle badly damaged and his options running low.
Coming up to Hampton right now. Go westbound on Hampton. Moving these crashing. 24's in here.
Hands! Show me your hands!
After crashing the car, Hill hops out of the driver's side and makes a break for it.
After crashing, Hill ditched the car and decided to make a run for it. The ensuing foot chase was captured on body cams, showing the intense pursuit before Hill was finally nabbed and cuffed.
Pursued. 2900.
Hands! Show me your hands!
In another twist, Lil Cherry Gallion was nabbed in relation to the theft. Alongside Hill and Gallion, 18-year-old Felicity McBride was also arrested for pinching items from the back of Kohl's. All three faced charges related to felony retail theft, with Hill picking up some extra charges for his hit-and-run and dangerous antics.
I'm down! I'm down, folks! Stop resisting! Take her back! Stop resisting! Anyone clear the car? 768, he's in custody. Hey! Come out. Come out. Exit the car! Exit the car! On the ground. On the ground. All the way. All the way. Hands behind your head. Hands behind your back.
18-year-old Felicity McBride was also taken into custody. Officials say she was stealing from the back of the Kohl's store.
Get this, the family reveals that Bo, a tech CEO, was found dead after being missing for over a year. He vanished following a cryptic text message to 911, sparking numerous questions about the circumstances surrounding his death. His family and friends express a desperate need for closure and understanding.
The family of a tech CEO found dead more than a year after he went missing following a text to 911 wants answers about his death. Bowman has been missing since November of 2021, and since that time, his family has been searching for him, wanting answers.
It's disclosed that Bo sent a 911 text from an Uber in Los Angeles after visiting a 7-Eleven. Despite this distress signal, the LAPD admitted that Bo never responded to their follow-up attempts. This lack of communication raises concerns about the efficiency of emergency services and the situation's urgency.
Man texted 911 911 from an Uber in Los Angeles after a trip to a 7-Eleven. According to published reports, the LAPD says man never responded to their follow-up requests.
On April 25th, skeletal remains were found and later identified as Bo's by the coroner. The discovery was recent, just a month before the broadcast. Efforts are underway to determine the cause of death, leaving the family and community with more questions than answers during a painful time.
Police in Santa Monica issued a statement saying they found skeletal remains on April 25th, and the coroner identified them as Bo Mann's. That was just last month. Work is underway to determine how man died, but right now, there are really more questions than answers.
The conversation highlights the mysterious circumstances under which Bo texted 911 during his Uber ride, indicating he sought immediate help. The family's frustration is palpable as they discuss the inadequate follow-up by the police to Bo's urgent distress signal.
No doubt. And one of the most concerning parts of this is just the fact that Bo indeed dialed 911 or texted 911. Has the family received any answers about what police did after that text to 911 was sent?
So what we have been told is that 911 text was received. The police department did confirm that. They said that they reached out a number of times to that phone, and they did not receive a response.
Mind-boggling, right? Further details emerge about the police's response to Bo's 911 text. Despite receiving the message, efforts to locate Bo were minimal, and there was no attempt to physically search for him immediately. This reveals potential gaps in the response system when handling silent emergency alerts.
And by reached out, does that mean calling, texting back? I mean, was there any effort to ping the phone? Do you know?
I have no idea what reaching out means. I do know that they did not try to find him. There was nobody sent to try to find him. And to me, if you're going to have a way to text the police so that it's nice and quiet in case an assailant is with you or who knows why you're texting instead of calling, but there could be a very good reason.
Before entering the Uber, Bo was seen at a 7-Eleven, which was confirmed by police and surveillance footage. This sighting becomes crucial as it marks the last known location before his mysterious disappearance, raising questions about what transpired during his Uber ride.
Before Bo got into that Uber, we know that he had been seen at a 7-Eleven. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so police did confirm, and there's video of Bo in the 7-Eleven. So he got into the Uber, went from his apartment to the 7-Eleven, was in the 7-Eleven for a period of time, picked out a number of items, including ice and toothpaste and a coffee and that sort of thing.
The family emphasizes Bo's deep connection with his relatives and his entrepreneurial spirit through his company, Sober Grid. This part of the discussion underscores the profound impact of his loss on both a personal and professional level, highlighting his contributions to the community and his family's ongoing quest for answers. The drama doesn't end here, folks.
But just the fact that Bo texted 911 to me is very concerning. You don't text 911 or call 911 unless you need help or are in distress.
Right. So this was a man who was very much a family guy. He loved his sister, his brother, his nephews and nieces were so important to him. He was in touch with his sister almost daily, and he had a company that he founded for people with addiction.
The Santa Monica Police Department has taken charge of investigating Bo's case. An autopsy and forensic examination are planned to unravel the cause of his death. The family holds on to hope that this new investigation will bring much-needed answers and justice for Bo.
And I think it's fantastic. You know, Rhonda, the Santa Monica Police Department is now investigating, and an autopsy, a forensic examination of Bo's remains will be conducted to try to determine how he passed away.
They are the ones who are now taking charge of the investigation. They've been very helpful so far. We're really hoping they're going to go back and look at anything that the LA police did, and that they will really help us try to find out what happened to Bo.
Stefan Stearns was grilled by detectives for trying to wipe evidence that he was caught on camera in intimate violence abusing Maddie Soto. The very next day, he faced elimination charges as well. Shocking new intel emerged from what his mom blabbed to the cops early on.
Stefan Stearns talking to detectives the day before he was charged with trying to destroy evidence that investigators said showed him sexually abusing Maddie Soto. Prosecutors would later charge Stearns with murdering Maddie. And now we're learning some stunning new details about what police claim Stearns' mother told them in the first days of the investigation. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. When detectives searched the home of Stefan Stearns' parents days after Maddie went missing, this information is even more surprising given some of the statements that Stearns' mother Deborah made in messages to her son in jail.
On the evening of February 26th, panic set in when Maddie Soto didn't show up after school. Her mom, Jen, came to fetch her, but no Maddie. She was last decked out in a green hoodie, white Crocs, and black shorts. This kicked off the whole search saga.
Maddie was reported missing on the evening of February 26th when her mom went to pick her up at school and she didn't come out.
So she was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today, and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here, because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. Came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got a notice, an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher, and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that she was not at school today either.
The cops and the Suets later called BS on Stearns' story about dropping Maddie off that fateful morning. They figured she was already dead, and Stearns had been driving around with her body.
Police and prosecutors would later say that statement was a lie, and that Maddie was never dropped off at school the morning of February 26th.
Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off on the morning of February 26th near her school. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time and that Stefan Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
Detectives decided to pop over to Stefan Stearns' parents' place a few days after Maddie vanished. What they found? Stearns acting shady and his mom totally losing it when she found what she thought was a torso in his room. Spoiler, it wasn't.
We have video evidence that shows Stefan Stearns discarding items in a dumpster in that apartment complex in Kissimmee at 7:35 on Monday, February 26. Detectives later recovered Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster.
Detectives in Kissimmee tracked Stearns' movements using license plate readers. They basically knew the route that he took when he left that morning, even though he was a suspect in Maddie's disappearance early on.
This bit is straight out of a soap opera. Deborah Stearns, Stefan's dear mom, spilled the beans that she thought her son sneaked back home the night Maddie was reported missing. Apparently, he might have been after some hidden cash.
When she was cleaning the room where Stefan had been staying, Deborah advised that Stefan was not here, but she believed he had returned to the property last night. So this was February 28th, the Wednesday of that week, around 10 o'clock at night. It would have been dark outside. Maddie was reported missing 2 nights earlier on February 26th. It was later divulged, the report says, by Deborah that she was awoken at exactly 3:19 hours this morning to her 5 dogs barking in a manner to alert her that someone was at the house.
The same night Stefan Stearns got nabbed by the cops, his mom was out there, all worked up, praying Maddie was somewhere safe and sound, all while fearing her son might have stashed the body near their home.
That Stefan Stearns was taken into custody by Orange County Sheriff's deputies after the sheriff said they discovered Stearns had tried to delete evidence from his phone. At the same time Stearns was being booked into the jail, Northport police wrote. Deborah expressed her disgust at the crimes her son is alleged to have committed and is hoping that, name redacted, it's safe to assume she means Maddie, is found alive.
In a nerve-wracking chat with the cops, Deborah Stearns voiced her darkest fears about her son's possible guilt in Maddie's disappearance. Yet, she clung to hope that Maddie might still be alive, despite the grim suspicions.
That Deborah Stearns was worried that Stefan had returned to her home early that morning when the dogs awoke her and they were barking, and that he may have put Maddie in the woods behind their house. Of course, the officers searched the area and did not find Maddie. Stearns had been living with his parents. This is why Stearns told police he went to Kissimmee that Sunday prior to see Maddie and her mom.
It's my parents' house. They're old and they need help these days. And they got a house full of poodles.
This is the Heartstopper. Maddie's body turned up on March 1st, hidden between two trees, covered up like some tragic treasure. It was a tip-off about a sketchy silver Lincoln that led to the grim discovery.
Maddie's body was found that Friday, on March 1st, on a property on Hickory Tree Road. She was in a fetal position between two trees and covered in grass. Deputies were led to that area by a man who called in a tip saying that he saw a silver Lincoln and a man changing a flat tire there that Monday. Stearns told police that he got a flat tire the day that Maddie disappeared. He claimed it happened after he dropped her off for school.
Ever heard a mom spill the tea from jail? Well, Deborah Stearns did just that, firing off a jailhouse letter to Stefan, chewing him out for not ratting on someone she believed was involved. It's messy, it's raw, and oh boy, it sets the stage for some jaw-dropping revelations up next.
It's interesting given what Deborah Stearns wrote to Stefan in jail at the end of June. That message says, "I keep thinking about how you would not ever rat out a friend. It really made me mad, and I felt like you valued them over us when you let them get away with stuff. Don't be doing that again. We all know that Name Redacted was heavily involved in this, and I am disgusted that she is free and you are not when this is not all your fault. You need to think about yourself more and her less. She sure isn't thinking of you and how she can help you right now. That whole family is willing to stay quiet and let you take the fall for everything. When you do that, you are hurting us too. Please get out of your head over this and start talking with your attorneys. This stuff is serious and you need to approach it as life and death, which it is. In that message, Deborah Stearns is clearly talking about Maddie and her mother, Jen Soto. Jen Soto has not been charged with any crimes related to Maddie's death or disappearance.
An officer-involved shooting in New Mexico kicks off as a suspect, later ID'd as Kevin Trujillo, decides it's a great day for a sprint away from the cops. Shots are fired, chaos ensues, and just like that, we're in the middle of an action movie.
Wild body camera video shows what led up to an officer-involved shooting in New Mexico after a suspect ran off from police and fired multiple shots at the cops. The Albuquerque Police Department released the body camera footage this week.
The Albuquerque Police's high-tech toy, ShotSpotter, catches 6 bangs in the city's southeast side around 7:30 p.m. This gadget alerts the cops exactly where the party's at.
From the May 10th shootout. At about 7:30 that evening, the gunshot detection system ShotSpotter picked up 6 gunshots fired on the city's southeast side.
Who's shooting?
Here comes Officer Alex Castellano, making a grand entrance. He shouts out to Kevin Trujillo, trying to start a polite chat, but Kevin isn't having it and bolts. It's like a scene from a cop show, but without the donuts.
Officer Alex Castellano can be heard calling out at the suspect, later identified as 33-year-old Kevin Trujillo.
My man, come here, police department, come here. Show me your hands.
As officers chase him, Trujillo points a weapon in their direction and fires multiple shots.
Talk about a hot pursuit. As the officers chase him down, Trujillo whirls around and pops off a few rounds in their direction. The officers' body cams capture this harrowing moment, proving once again why I never skipped tag in kindergarten.
As officers chase him, Trujillo points a weapon in their direction and fires multiple shots. Body camera footage from another responding officer shows the incident from another angle.
Where's it coming from? My man, come here, police department, come here. Show me your hands.
After the shooting, officers continue to search for Trujillo.
Body cam footage from another officer captures the nail-biting moments right after the shootout. The cops regroup and keep up their search for Trujillo, proving that hide-and-seek can indeed be a full-contact sport.
Alvarado?
Body camera video from another officer shows the minutes after the shooting.
And Anderson? Palomas? And Anderson? Where's that? What's permitted? Stay over here. Stay over here.
Trujillo decides that maybe shooting wasn't his best decision, shooting 5 times at police, who return the favor and tag him in the shoulder. Hours later, he throws in the towel and surrenders to a SWAT team.
My car is covered. Yeah. Are you guys okay? Is anybody? Yeah. No. Do you want to Palomas? Anderson? Hey, watch out, guys. Back up with him.
Go that way. Go that way. Okay, just stay out of the way, please. Yeah, I'm good. Everybody's okay. Do wet checks.
Any rescue stays at that smoke shop.
Trujillo faces a slew of charges, and a judge decides he's not going anywhere but the clink until his trial. Turns out, our main character is homeless and battling schizophrenia.
Everybody's alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Officials say Trujillo fired 5 shots at officers, who returned 3. Trujillo was shot and injured in the shoulder. Hours after the shooting, he surrendered to a SWAT team. Officials later spoke to his mother, who said her son is homeless and schizophrenic. Trujillo now faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault on a peace officer and resisting arrest. A judge ruled he must remain in jail until his trial, and right now, he's due back in court on July 3rd for a scheduling conference.